You're saying Jurassic Park lied when they were in that river?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Well, Jurassic Park was a documentary.
Jurassic Park 3 specifically, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't spit on the name of Jurassic Park 1. That is a documentary.
Okay, cool. That's all true.
But shout-outs to Jurassic World, though, right?
Alan.
We just had to pay Jeff Goldblum to pretend to be an actor.
Yeah, I had Mario in it, too.
We moving on yet, guys?
Yeah.
Or are we still doing it? Okay.
Checking
Cool.
signal beeps.
Whoever's doing this, cut this, please. I'm gonna have anxiety attacks. Welcome to the Indigo League, where trainers grow and bond with their Pokemon to become the very best and prove themselves unbeatable.
We are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no, we won't fall, because we are unbeatable.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Last time on Unbeatable, our trainers found their way out into open ocean onto the stormy Route 21 to attempt to rescue their friend, Captain Nolan of the Whalmer's Blessing. After finding their way to the rocky island chains within the route, they aboard their borrowed Lapras, Sheila. The group dealt with two members of the team falling overboard into dangerous whirlpools that had formed between the islands. They barely managed to bring Coryne and Vermilion back aboard before they took shelter into the rocky crags that contained the wreckage of the Whalmer's Blessing. There, in an ocean cave, trying to stay warm and protect themselves, honestly, from the elements, they stumbled across a metal door leading into a secret blue rocket base. Now, all of the members of our party find themselves frozen in fear and in cold at what they have in front of them. All of you, your breath kind of exists in this foggy exhale every single time you breathe. It is cold here where you are, and not a single person has spoken since, I believe it was it Seth or Gavin who opened the door?
I think it was a team effort considering our strength.
Okay, Seth, you stand at the front there, first at the door. Looking down, there is a narrow, lit hallway with several doors on one side and a couple doors on the other. And at the very end of the hallway, there is that blue rocket emblem that we ended on last episode. Can everybody, real quick, because I feel like this is important to kind of get our brains into what we're feeling at the moment with this, give me where your character is what their initial reaction to seeing the emblem on the wall is. I'll start with Coryne.
Oh.
You guys know that Arthur meme with the knuckles?
That's That's Coryne.
Basically, I mean, Coryne is sitting there having just fought for her and Vermilion's life out of these whirlpools, is shivering and shaking. And if you looked at her face right now, I'm not sure if you could tell if she was shaking because she was freezing or if she was shaking because she was so amped and mad, and like if there's any color in her face, it is just red, teeth clenched, almost grinding, like just pure vitriol in the eyes, and is ready to go.
Okay. Gavin, why don't you take us through what you're feeling in this moment, what Gavin's initial reaction is?
I will describe it, but first of all, I think I need to act it out. So,
oh my goodness!
If it's visual, I think if people are watching on
just
YouTube,
don't turn around while you stand up. It's a reference to episode 1.
We're looking up at the
5, 6.
Oh, no one in the audio podcast is going to hear this. This is going to be great. So just do your thing, and then
So
we'll come
imagine that Gavin's looking forward, and then makes a loud and falling noise internally.
He just falls over.
Again? I don't know if I can do this right now.
Are you doing this mentally or physically? Big difference.
Physically?
No.
Physically, I think
Collapses in exhaustion.
onto the ground like a fucking wet
Gavin
sack of
just
potatoes.
sinks to the floor and just...
What's the floor situation looking like here? Is it like tile?
The one that you're standing on. So in the hallway itself, it's like that, like very smooth, like bare bones cement. But where you're standing on still, where Gavin has collapsed, is just puddles of rocky, like stalagmites and stalactites, whichever one's the floor one. Tell me in the comments. Players don't tell me.
It's better if you say them both so that you can't be wrong.
I can't be wrong. It's one of them.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Just gotta be careful if we start walking, and it's gonna be like.
It's physically hurting me not to be able to say which one it is.
That's crazy. Well, stalagmite's got an M in it, so.
Like they might fall, or they might be on the
No.
ground.
No, what?
Lights fall down.
Oh, you told me. That's dude. If this game had experience for players, I would just be like knock, knock, knock. Anyway,
Who's there?
Seth,
Do it to him too.
you're the one who was actually standing in the doorway when this happened. Behind you, obviously, Coryne is shaking with rage. Gavin has collapsed on the ground. What was your initial impression of what happened?
I think seeing the emblem and physically not being as exhausted as like Coryne, our marathon Olympian here, I think there was this feeling of, you know, in the games when you try to do something and then it's like someone's words flashes in your head or something like that.
Yeah, this is not the time to do that.
Yeah, it's this of like, wow, I should have done a lot of things before getting here. I wouldn't have known this was happened, but genuinely a bit of like, I think I'm in over my head and I shouldn't be here type of fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely like that, like the gut sinking feeling you'll get when you find out like, oh, this was supposed to be done on this day, or like you were supposed to do this, but the opposite happened, and you're like, this sucks. I got to figure out how to get out of this. That is maximized by like the adrenaline of almost dying in the ocean, you know, or seeing people almost die. But yeah, not the highest of highs, ATM.
Okay. Looking a little bit further into this hallways, all of you feel your variations of these negative emotions: exasperation from Gavin, rage from Coryne, and anxiety, I think, almost from Seth. This
I'd say more
moment,
fear, if anything.
fear as well.
Because we barely got out of the last thing.
Absolutely. As you look into this hallway, just the details of it begin to kind of fill in your mind of this like very bare bones, narrow concrete hallway. The doors themselves seem to be shorter, not necessarily like standard door size. Looking at the hallway, it doesn't necessarily look like this is an intended hallway for normal use. It might be something more like closer to an access hallway than anything else.
Two questions. One,
Yeah.
Looking at my Poke gear, what is the signal looking like?
You
Being
have
a
no signal.
cement. No signal? Okay.
You have no
I would
signal.
imagine anyone else. Is that we had a sat
I have
phone?
the sat phone.
Okay.
Gavin, your sat phone works perfectly when you have open view of the sky. You are in a cave at the moment, so checking. You
Yeah.
also have no signal.
Okay. Second question. Where we walked in, because it's wet and stuff, do we see any more like wet footprints leading inward to where it would?
That is a
normally be by
great
cement?
question. Go ahead and roll a tracking check for me.
Oh boy.
Yes, Coryne, while he's rolling that.
As he's rolling that, would it be possible for Coryne to just be like, shh, and
Tell everybody
listen
quiet?
for any sounds?
Okay, go ahead and also roll me a tracking check, but you guys are looking for very different things, so you're going to get different things based off of your rolls.
Let's see.
Somebody starts playing just like the drums.
This is Jumanji.
That did happen in Jumanji.
Yeah, like all the time when board stuff would happen. Okay, so then I add that, and okay.
By the way, editor, this is like the little pauses between dice rolls. This is stuff you can cut. Whoever's editing this episode.
Matt, don't cut this. If you edit this episode,
Matt,
He's just starfished on the ground with his eyes closed. Done.
it's that thing where you can feel like stagnant cave water like just sinking into your hoodie as you're laying there.
Oh, this is what I deserve.
11.
11. Okay. And then Coryne, what did you roll?
9.
Okay. With an 11 and a 9, the two of you combined bars, getting into just looking down the hallway using your eyes and ears. There are boot prints in the access tunnel, but with your 11, you can tell that they're not recent, that the moisture in them has dried out. So there's little bits of like caked like sea nastiness, like salt and sand in different places. But it seems like the temperature control within the base has dried out those footprints. It hasn't been used in at least a couple days. With an 11, it's very good, but I could have told you more higher. So unfortunately, there are a couple details that you don't notice in this time. But for the most part, there is no one that has recently been through here. With your 9, Coryne, listening, this is pretty close to you. You would hear the sound of people shouting, but not in like a angry or necessarily fearful way, more in like the cadence you would hear when someone is battling, but not like a life or death battle, like a training battle almost is what it more sounds like. Like, you know what I mean? But there's a very specific cadence when you're barking orders to something that I think all of you would be familiar enough with, that once Coryne like points to the ear and points it out to everyone. Yeah, like almost, yeah, like a recreational shout for battle. But that is the first thing you would hear. The other thing you would hear is the light buzzing of electricity. There's like a noise of something going through some sort of set pipes, because there are exposed pipes in the ceilings. The distant crashing of waves in the storm out the cave you came through, though luckily you can't see it at the moment, given that you've gone so far back into the cave. But I think the shouts would be the main thing. No, you guys haven't said that you're closing the door yet. You've left it open.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You also haven't gone in yet. You're all still in the cave.
Yeah, okay.
So that is what the two of you heard with your checks, or saw.
Standing up from my position, check that opening the door didn't trigger any like silent alarm or something.
That'd be a pretty high DC technology check. Go ahead and roll that.
Won't be like a spot hidden to like check for.
I think from what you said before, the door looked like it had been broken into.
The door had been messed up significantly, but like.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my bad for not remembering from last session.
That's fine. But this is also a very mechanically complex door. It looks like it pressure seals when it's normally able to close. So there are like pneumatic pipes and wires connected to it. So to be able to tell if one of those was an alarm of some kind would be a technology check.
It appears to run on some form of electricity.
Yeah.
Check out my Zune.
Coryne, can I please get a fortitude check from you? And I'm going to get one from Vermilion as well.
We got that hypothermia.
Don't forget to take your -3 to your fortitude and strength checks and agility checks. Did you add your penalty?
Oof, baboof.
I will now. I forgot about that.
Zoinks.
Oh, are you okay? That's a solid 5.
A 5 is going to hit what you needed to hit, so your penalty is not going to increase. However, Vermilion's penalty is going to go to -4.
No, because they're cold?
They're cold, and they are taking minor wounds the longer they stay cold. As you look over, they're barely reacting to this. They do, but there's only so much that you can do still sitting against cold rock, still sitting in water. Even with Magby out steaming the front of their clothing, they are still shivering.
All right, guys, I think it's not, very clearly it's not safe in there, but we need to go inside.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we could do. Gavin, if you think you're able to get to the mouth of the cave again, because you didn't get wet that much, same as E, see if you're able to reach out to somebody and just let them know our location if you can, or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, Coryne, Vermilion, let's get inside, but we gotta be quiet and just stay close to the door as much as possible, but away from the wind. And we'll try and warm you up as much as possible. Zippo, keep zipping.
Magby! Immediately you see the heat. Quietly.
Okay. 1, 2, 3,
break.
As
And I go to the front of the cave.
Okay.
As Seth like points out that Vermilion is shivering and super duper cold, Coryne steps behind Vermilion just as like a body block from any kind of breeze or wind that's coming through.
100%. And as you like go and like step behind them, is that thing where you have to kind of move them in front of you. And you've noticed before, they have a very slight frame. They're very skinny as a person. Just that's naturally how they are. And just you can feel the intense shivers racking their bones as they still are almost completely nonverbal after falling in the whirlpool. Kind of in sort of like a half cold daze getting pulled in. As you kind of bring them in, Seth, do you in any way close the door as you guys go in, or are you just going to hold it?
I'm going to hold it so it doesn't make like a close noise.
Okay.
While Gavin runs out, so I can at least see in and.
Okay.
Does it isn't making like a wind blowy type of noise?
That's more at the front of the cavern. There is a little bit of that noise because you can feel like the temperature control from inside like shifting outwards as the hot air goes into cold air, but it's not like as bad as it is near the front of the cave where the wind is actively whistling by.
Okay. Yeah, because I just want to make sure we can still see Gavin to have him come back in after he makes a call.
And to clarify, you can't see the front of the cave from the door. That's one of the things we stated earlier.
Yeah, well, like when he walks up to the door.
100%.
That it's him. Yep.
100%. Gavin, you headed off to the front. You managed, because you guys have already gone this way and it's not significantly dangerous than it was like 5 minutes ago. I'm not going to make you another check. However, getting your sat phone, can you please make a use technology check for me, please?
I'm not good at those, he says, unmuting his mic. Okay. It's a 6.
It's a 6. Okay. With a 6, you significantly, as you're getting out of the cavern, and it's that thing where you have to once again like use your hands and legs to push on either side of the kind of the chasm wall to get out to where you can see sky again. You can see one bar of your sat phone pop up again, and it pops down, pops up, pops down. That's weird. Satellite phones should always be able to work if they can see the sky. There's actually a myth that like weather affects sat phones. It does not. That's one of the reasons sat phones are one of the best things for hikers and explorers.
You're saying Jurassic Park lied when they were in that river?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Well, Jurassic Park was a documentary.
Jurassic Park 3 specifically, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't spit on the name of Jurassic Park 1. That is a documentary.
Okay, cool. That's all true.
But shout outs to Jurassic World, though, right?
Alan.
I just had to pay Jeff Goldblum to pretend to be an actor.
Yeah, I had Mario in it, too.
We moving on yet, guys?
Yeah.
Or are we still doing it? Okay.
Checking
Cool.
signal beeps.
Whoever's doing this, cut this, please. I'm gonna have anxiety.
Can't get signal.
You might get enough to make a call if you want. But it is that thing where that call is going to have several checks that happen to see how much information actually gets across. Are you okay with that?
There's no way I can make it must be being jammed.
That is the natural conclusion that your brain comes to, remembering what happened at the Poke Center in the second session that you guys ever played.
Makes sense. Okay.
Does that
I
mean
can't
there's
look
a-
around and see any like antenna sticking out of the rocks. Can I?
At the moment, I'm not even going to make you a check for that. You guys didn't see any evidence of anything man-made on your way up. You wouldn't see any now.
Okay.
Other than the wreckage of the Whalmer's Blessing, which would be out in front of you now at this point.
Ooh. How dangerous would it be for me to try and get into the wreckage?
Extremely. But
Okay.
doable.
Lose a character.
Extremely.
No, I just wondered if there was anything in there that might be stronger than whatever they're trying to use to block it. I'll try and make
You know
a call.
what? There might be. The old man would have long-distance radios on there.
Don't give him hope. Don't give him hope. This man's
No,
gonna
I
drown.
hadn't thought about this, but the old man would.
You'd know because you've been on the ship.
You were on
I
that ship
would.
for a week. You would know that. You would know that it would be stored in the little post that he had at the back of the
You
ship.
did say the ship was like crushed, though.
It is crushed between rocks. It will never be used again. I'm going to roll to see whether or not that section is fully compacted or whether or not it's still... Because it's also in the back of the ship. Like, it was
Like
not
a box
the part
or something.
that hit
What is it? What did it look like?
So there's essentially a like steering box almost that you stand in that's about like 4 foot by 4 foot. That's about 7 foot tall, where the little wheel is, and there's a small chair that you can sit in that's enclosed from the elements.
The Mickey Mouse steamboat thing?
yes.
Basically
Is the
that.
bit he stands in. Does the-
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like the phone thing.
Oh,
Okay.
the phone itself would probably be like a larger, clunkier piece of equipment. Probably maybe like the size of a car battery, if you've ever seen one of those.
Dang.
A ham
How strong's
radio.
Ava?
Ava probably could definitely lift it. The wind is still rough, so Ava would have to make several checks, but now she's up
Oh,
against
never
the
mind.
island.
Yeah, I forgot the safety of
Not
that.
risking
Yeah.
Ava.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've rolled. I did not roll positively. Looking, it seems like that section of the ship is crushed. It would take a lot of effort to be able to try and salvage anything from that.
No. If I go in and I get stuck,
There's no
my
one
friend,
coming to save you.
yeah, my friends would have to come and get me, and that's putting them in danger. I'm not going. I'm gonna try and make a call with the sat phone.
Good decision making for Gavin, by the way. I'm going to let you make this next use technology roll with an advantage because of Gavin's decision making.
Okay. as far as Gavin's concerned, this is all his fault. What the current situation they find themselves in. That's an 8 total with a 5 and a 2 on the dice.
8 is pretty good. Okay, what are you trying to dial on your call?
I am going to try and phone for Poppy.
You're gonna try and phone for Poppy. Okay. There's a moment where you go to the number for the lab that you saved when you were first given it, and your fingers are so cold. You have like almost no dexterity left in your fingers, but you're like hitting the buttons, having to the point where you have to like take one finger and like point to be able to hit. Eventually, faintly over the sound of the wind going by, you can faintly hear that ding ding ding, ring ring, as the call is ringing.
Come on.
Eventually
P.
you hear it rings a third time and a fourth time. Click. Hello? You hear crackling.
Stranded. Mayday.
Storm. Coverage. Buzzing.
Mayday. I'm just going to repeat Mayday. I don't want to just...
You're just going to keep saying Mayday?
Yeah.
Okay. Over the course of the next like 30 seconds, you can hear Poppy's voice in and out, in and out. And she seems to be also just trying to repeat the same message so you can get as much of it as possible. Go ahead and roll me just a straight int roll.
This is what I'm good at.
So you can piece together the message she's trying to give you, because she's going to keep trying to say the same thing because she knows it's useless to try and have a conversation.
Brain blast.
That's a 14.
Okay. With a 14, which is a great roll, you can piece together that what Poppy says is, the storm has super high coverage. I can't see you. There's some kind of buzzing going on. I'll call for help, is what she says. And eventually it, as connection goes dead and you look down and that's still that flickering one bar.
Could I have said one other word in that time?
Sure. Go for it.
Love
Go for it.
you.
Mayday, rockets.
Rockets. That's an important thing to write down. Okay, I'm gonna roll an int check for Poppy to see how well that came across. Okay.
Kits. That's all I got.
Make it.
Make it. Make it.
Okay.
Rock day.
So with that though, you feel like you have officially gotten a call out. There's still that flickering signal bar. You can always try again, but at this point, easily 10 to 15 minutes have passed.
You know, if it's being jammed, it's not going to get any better.
Okay.
If I feel like information has been transferred, she knows we're in trouble, I'll go back.
Okay. You head back. The other three of you, during this like 10 to 15 minutes, I know that Seth, you've been keeping the door kind of half open so you can look out in the cave and you're waiting for Gavin. Coryne, are you and Vermilion doing anything at this point? Vermilion has kind of lodged into a corner and just has Zippo fully in their chest.
Coryne, I think Coryne's initial anger has abated a bit, seeing that her friend is like in actual trouble, being soaking wet and really, really cold. So the survival responses are starting to kick in, and it's not as much working with Vermilion as keeping an eye out and ear out for any sort of rocket trouble. Coryne is like on a hairpin trigger to act if anything happens.
Okay. Keeping that ear out that you've had before, the training that you heard, it doesn't sound like it's like nearby. It might be maybe a few rooms away. The hallway that you're in is about 5 foot wide, like just enough to be an access tunnel. And it goes down maybe 50 foot down. You can see that there are 6 different doors out of here. 1 directly underneath the emblem at the end, 3 on your left-hand side, and 2 on your right-hand side.
Is there any, you know how doors are and like seals and stuff, is there any light spilling out from?
No, these are fully sealed. There is the lights, the overhead lights above, but these are fully sealed.
Okay.
With everything that we've been carrying with us, and obviously like falling into the ocean and stuff like that, is everything in our bags?
Everything that is in the bags is dry.
Okay. I think I'm going to whisper to the others, like, hey, I don't know if this is the most efficient time to do this, but you guys should probably get out of those clothes and change into something dry, because being in wet clothes will not help. I'm going to be watching the door, but please, warm yourselves up. I don't want you guys to hypothermize. What's the word for it? I want to sound like I'm from Glass Onion. What does that guy say? Hypothermize.
I'm not sure what Benoit Blanc would say.
No. The other guy.
You guys just take a moment to imbreviate, okay?
Abbreviate the situation.
Yeah, hypothermize it real quick.
I love that this is such a timely reference given the gap between when we record these and when we post these.
Hey, that movie just came out
about
last week.
Everyone's that's seen it will know what we're talking about.
Okay.
But yes, you guys should definitely change, but quietly if you can or something, just so you guys aren't in soaking wet clothes.
It would be awful if this is when the rockets attacked you guys. Hey,
Seth, you say that as well. You might not have ever been dipped directly in the water, but your legs were in that water that whole time. You were splashed many times. You were also soaked. Just letting you know.
Can't change legs.
That's fair.
Got pants?
Got a towel?
No, I wear board shorts all the time. It's my aesthetic.
At about this point, Gavin, you will return from the front of the cave.
Hey everyone, it's cold.
Okay.
I got through to Poppy, but it seems like this facility, whatever it is blocking satellite communications. So it was patchy, but she knows we're in trouble, and she's gonna send help.
Okay. Should we try to find a empty room? There are some doors in this hallway. I don't. Who's this? It's the other tabletop game question coming to my head of who's the stealthiest?
Who's the quietest?
Yeah, who's the quietest?
Stealth is a skill in this game.
Yeah.
My agility is a D8, so that's how good I am at stealth.
Mine's a D10.
Mine's a D6.
So
Vermilion's is a D12.
Oh, it's Vermilion.
Stomp.
No, Vermilion's Vermilion's.
But also Vermilion's saying a -4 penalty to all things right now, all physical
Technically,
things.
it would be you.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So, I think I'm going to try and look for a room. I'm going to be as quiet as I can. And I'm going to tell the others if something goes wrong, I'm going to distract and run away from where you guys are so that they don't look for you. And you guys at least have a bit more time to figure something else out.
Okay.
What's popping?
So, once Matt, in theory, the move toxic spikes, how long would those stick around for if I sprayed those on the ground?
For the purposes of this, I'd say probably longer than you're going to spend here, unless you guys get imprisoned.
Okay. Then whatever door Seth doesn't go through, toxic spikes on the rest of them.
Okay, and that you're using Prince to do this?
Queenie.
Queenie knows toxic spikes. You're right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Speed tricks.
That's true. Both of them had toxic spikes on their sheet.
How many moves do you want to knock off? I've got 4
so
PP.
Just go ahead. For now, just mark off 1. We'll
Okay.
just because it's pretty decent radius and stuff like that. Seth, roll me a stealth check first of all.
Okay.
The rest of you, are you guys going to take this time to trade off changing into dry clothes, being not hypothermic? Well, right now, if you guys get out of your wet clothes, I will stop making you roll for hypothermia.
Am I okay?
I had asked them to do that while we were waiting for.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm just asking if they were going to do it. Yeah,
just so you guys had the time.
Gavin, you're the most dry. You're still not dry. You were on the ocean on a small creature.
Will I be okay if I don't change?
Maybe, given that you're moving around.
Okay.
So, Seth, what was your stealth roll?
I didn't roll it yet because of stress. I'll do it now. It's a D. Okay. Why am I thinking I don't know what dice are? Because that's why. So that's a 3.
Okay.
See you guys next episode. It's fine.
Good to know. Are you starting with the 3 doors to the west, the 2 doors to the east, or the 1 door to the south at the very end of the hallway?
Ooh. Based on what we heard sound-wise from Coryne, did that sound like it was down the hallway or from one of these possible doors?
That sounds like it's far west, far past the 3 doors to the west.
Okay.
I was gonna say it sounds like it's pretty far away.
3 doors to the west. Okay. Let's check the 3 doors, and I'm gonna look to see. My thought process with this is that if 3 doors are closer together, they're probably smaller rooms and less likely for people to be in there. 2 doors that are just on one side might be larger spaces. Is there anything on the doors that say something?
All 6 doors look identical.
Cool. Let's go with the first one of the 3 to the west, I think is what you said.
3 to the west. Okay, the first of the 3 to the west. Okay. Coryne, I see a hand real quick.
Yeah, what time of day would it be if we could
It is
see the sun?
well after dark. It is.
So it's
it is-
nighttime.
Yeah, it is the thing where you stopped seeing the sun as soon as you went out on the ocean because of the storm, but it was already like a couple hours to dark when you guys started headed out. Went a couple hours, then another couple hours. It is like easily 8 to 9 p.m. at this point.
So it's totally possible for people to be sleeping.
It's totally possible for people to be sleeping 100%.
Shit. Okay. Right.
Okay. So, Seth, as you go to that first door that's right up the way, do you unlatch it?
No, I'm just gonna put my ear up to it first to see what I
Okay.
can hear.
Putting your ear up to it for a second, I'm not going to require a roll for this. You do not hear anything directly in that room at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Same. As I moved into this hallway, do I see any more like dried footsteps or anything like that?
You would see that the dried footsteps you saw earlier go all the way to the door at the end of the hallway.
Or at the end of the hallway of the
The one
3?
directly underneath the emblem. No, the south door.
Oh,
Because there's
gosh.
3 to the west, 1 to the south, 2 to the east.
Bro, if this captain is a part of Blue Rockets, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm going to. Also, are they all like sealed types of doors, or are they doors where you could see light coming from below them?
They are all sealed.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just try to open up a. Don't give me that look! Stop it! I
No,
don't-
not you. I'm looking at what Gavin
not
texted in the chat.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not gonna do that.
It was,
Again, I have a bitey little what is it? Crocodile and a bird, a little baby bird. I'm not doing anything combative. Yeah, I'll try to slowly open this door, or just I guess open it as best as I can quietly.
Okay. You go and you feel the latch. It's that thing where you have to like put your fingers in the latch, pull it, and like pull it outwards.
Mm-hmm.
And as you put your fingers in the latch, you hear like noise of like the lock moving. That's your 3 stealth. As you hear the lock like crack as you open it up.
Mm-hmm.
The door will still open. You can feel it outwards, but that was very audible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll for all the other people in the immediate area.
In the room? In the
Oh,
room.
Room.com.
People.
In the immediate area.
People.
I
So
believe.
also just us. Just us. Yeah.
It's just
Gavin
us.
and I can.
You guys didn't hear it, right? It's fine. We're fine.
No, we definitely heard, but it's only
Okay.
us.
I don't roll well, guys. I'm learning
So,
this
Hey, Chris,
every
Seth,
day.
There's that moment. Do you know when you're
Screwed?
like
Yeah, this is
downstairs trying to use the microwave, but all of the rest of your family's asleep? So and you open the microwave door and it makes that like dunk noise as it opens.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know that feeling?
Yeah.
That's the exact feeling of the dunk and the door opens, and it's just that
Does it-
tenseness in your body.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna try and do is I'm not trying to open it in the sense that it's quietly, but like you know how if you hide in plain sight and just do natural things, like
Yeah.
it's just background noises, but if you
Yeah.
slowly open something, it's like
100%.
that
It draws
sounds
attention.
different. Yeah, I'm trying to do that moving
So you do the
forward.
dunk, just pull it
yeah,
open.
just
Okay.
open. It's already made
So
a
you
noise.
rip
so-
off the band-aid and pull it open, and you luckily see an empty room. What you see in front of you is a square room about 15 feet by 15 feet. There is a door on the opposite wall from what you're in. The
Mhm.
walls and ceiling and floor are all that same kind of like stripped cement look to them with like light buttressing on the side for like structure support.
Okay.
But
Did you just
Sorry.
snort at buttressing?
Dang.
um,
buttressed.
But you see that in the middle of the room, there is a circular table with several chairs around it. And on that table, there is a couple decks of cards. There's a box of Monopoly. There is a couple other board games.
It's like a break room.
This seems like some kind of like break room or game room.
Okay. Do I see anything
prime?
that looks like lockers and or schedules, paperwork, anything like that? Shifts.
Without getting into the room, it's pretty bare bones in terms of furniture. There's a couple more. There's a couple shelves on one side of it, and there's a few more chairs strewn about.
Mhm.
But you don't see anything that immediately that would betray itself as anything of importance. It looks like a lot of game pieces.
Okay. And there's just one other door, correct?
There's one other door on the other side, and that's a full-size door. That's like people are meant to walk through it. It seems like you
This is
guys
like an
have found a
emergency
secret
exit.
access hatch to clear all the fans in the room. It's a secret tunnel. Secret
Secret
tunnel
tunnel.
Oh.
that you're all in.
Under that machine.
That you're
Okay.
all in. So they're not the intended doors. As you look at the kind of door that's in your hand now, it is also kind of that stone facade, but it has like a light metal outlining. It looks like these are intended to be used if people need to access specific maintenance bits, but these are not normally used doors.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. And does it like creak or make a noise when it's
It's
opening
pretty
or
well.
closing?
It's pretty well crafted. This base isn't that old, so
Okay.
everything's pretty well made.
It'd be ironic
Okay.
if the maintenance hatch were poorly maintained.
That would be ironic.
That would be. Okay. I'm going to
Isn't it ironic?
I'm gonna slowly is there anything I can prop the door open with, or will it automatically close?
It won't automatically close, so if you can leave it
Okay.
open if you'd
So
like.
leave it there, and I'm gonna like just run back to the group and be like, "There's an empty room. It looks like a break room, but I don't know when somebody's gonna walk in there. It looks like we're in an access tunnel that may not be commonly used. So we can either go in this room, and I don't know. That's all. That's as much as I got. But I just it was really scary opening that first door. I just wanted to report back before I do another one, or we go into this room.
I think it's probably wise to go ahead and go into the room. We're really exposed out here in the hallway.
That's the thing. This is an access tunnel. I don't know how much how much traffic this hallway is going to have normally. But also, I don't know how
Well,
Team Blue Rocket fortresses work. So I could be wrong on all of that, and we can just go in the break room instead. There were board games, but I didn't see anyone there, nor like any schedules that would tell me when somebody else would come in. So.
Well,
I could check another door, but this is at least an empty room.
Be careful of the toxic spikes.
You see
What?
that the two east doors both have toxic spikes in front of them, so the west doors have been left alone.
Okay. I mean, we can go into this room and just like fortress up and sleep the night if we need to, because it's getting pretty late, and then see if the storm is better in the morning.
The
But
storm,
again, chances of us seeing somebody in here.
storm's real bad. Poppy can't even like see the islands from the satellite.
you were able to get to her?
Just a little bit. I said earlier, but just slightly. It was really patchy. They're blocking the signal.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
But Poppy knows that we're in trouble, and she's sending help. But I don't know how well the Rangers are gonna be able to get to us.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
When we rolled those like world event tables, who
Mhm.
who succeeded most recently? Was it Blue
My
Rockets?
dad.
It was Blue
Well,
Rockets and
The Blue
Gavin's
Rockets
father
did
were
succeed.
the
Okay,
ones
cool.
that had succeeded most recently.
Cool. Okay. All right. Executive decision. Let's just go into this room and we'll figure it out. The worst that happens is not crossed my mind yet. So I guess we just go in this room and there are board games we can play until
Sure.
we rest up and aren't as cold.
Okay. You guys managed to file your way down the hatch. Having been led by Seth, who is already acting very quietly, I'm not going to make you all roll stealth to get into this room. Are you guys going to close the hatch behind you, or are you going to leave it open?
The hatch out to the cave?
The hatch to the access tunnel.
Oh, it doesn't. Is it a one-way lock, like open, or?
It is a one-way latch. It looks like you need some kind of special key to open it from the inside. It's one of those things where, like, if you're in the room, you can't really
It's flush.
access it unless you push a thing in and pull it out.
That's why I
Just
feel like we'd be
doubles as a
safer in the
convenient
tunnel.
cell.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Kenna confusion.
Yep.
Please give me a real quick rundown of exactly. So what is the tunnel and
It's
what
a false.
is the room?
It's a false room. We're in
So
a
the
maintenance tunnel. If you need to
Yeah,
move
you are in
behind
a
stuff.
maintenance tunnel right now. So this room is not meant to be used as a room.
That's
You
why we-
remember that all of the pipes and wires and different plumbings and things that lead to different parts of the building, this is where they're all stored behind the actual rooms. So this little hatch that you have is meant to just be used by maintenance workers to get in and out of the different tunnels to get to the different pipes and electrical that they need.
That's why we can get out, but we can't come back in because.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. We're looking at this from
got it.
inside out.
But if we leave the door
100%.
open, the door normally is flush against the wall, so we can't
Right.
casually just leave that. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like,
You have to have a special
But-
kind of key to be able to open it back from the inside.
With
Yeah,
that
so,
Oh,
like,
I'm not
context,
going
likelihood-
in there.
with that context for this
Okay.
room.
Yep.
The pipes, they're also electrical cables and things?
Yeah.
They're labeled?
They would be different colors and they'd have numbers on the side of them, but they probably wouldn't have like, oh, master power on the side of one of the pipes.
There's
That
no
that's
breaker
not-
box. Come on.
I mean, there's definitely like the equivalent in places, but it's not like they're clearly labeled like, yes, building master power.
That's okay.
You say
breaker
that like
box
that-
are
checks that you
never
could do to
accurate
figure
You
it
anyway.
say
out.
that like that's stupid, but that would be the smart thing to do so that no one has to have the fucking cheat sheet.
I will let you know right now that because this is an evil secret underground base, they probably don't have to go with normal building guidelines.
evil main power breaker.
So it's not to code. Fired.
I mean, I do know what the like master powers thing is. It's all of them. You just take down all of them.
Why is this one pipe colored like a master ball? It's weird.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's purple and red. Wild.
Yeah. Okay.
Any of you guys
so
good with technology?
okay, so we can either close the store and
No.
again we
None
know
of
it's
you
an empty room, or
I'm good with technology.
Are
we
you
try
sure?
the other doors. What do we think? Or we sleep in this hallway for the night and hope for the best.
Well, if this is a maintenance hatch, then the only reason people would come here is if things are going wrong.
Million, were you gonna say something?
Sorry.
I mean, that's basically what I was gonna say was, if there's like no problems, I guess we could stay here. But if somebody does come in, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't know what we would do in
There's
the
no-
other room.
There might be somewhere else we could hide in the other room.
I mean,
Here
was
it's just
there
kind
from
of
what I
empty hallway.
saw? It was a.
It was just a
break room.
table and chairs. But they're more looking at the 5 other doors that are there, including the 2 that are now covered in poisonous spikes.
I'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna go check door 1 of east side.
Door 1 of east side. So kind of stepping around the spikes because you know that you're there. I'm not going to make you make
Yeah,
a roll.
I'm not gonna go to the other 2.
May I be standing in the doorway between the room and the hall with my eyes on Seth?
Sure, 100%. You can absolutely do that.
Can I try and listen through the other west door?
Oh, sure, 100%. Are you going to close back that hatch to the game room or no?
We can open it
Yeah,
from this
now that we
side,
know
we'll
it's-
close it.
Yeah, you can open it from the side. Okay. Close it and
It's
shut.
still gonna make a noise, but like,
It makes a noise. Seth, go ahead and roll me one more stealth check, please. Go ahead and roll it with an advantage because now you're prepared for the clicking.
okay. I was trying to think of any good
Thank
reason,
you,
and
thank
I
you.
couldn't think of one. And I was like,
Merciful
I'll just live
GM,
with it. You got
No,
this.
because you're prepared for it this time.
Merciful GM.
I am prepared for trouble, and we'll make
Make
it
it
singular.
double.
No. Divide by 2.
Okay. So that's gonna be a 7 in total. I rolled
7
one better.
is much better than a 3. Much better than a 3.
Now make it double.
Um,
14.
Now that you're ready, and it's that thing where you now do it in one fell motion, and it
Mhm.
really helps decrease the noise because you kind of move the door with the clicking. And in this room, you can see that immediately out from the door, you actually have to kind of push the door, and you hear like the slight like ripping of paper, like as there was a poster over this maintenance hatch.
Mhm.
But as it kind of pushes through, you find yourself in some kind of library. There's a bookshelf off to this side, and directly in front of you, there is a desk that's kind of facing the other direction. The chair is down by the front of this hatch, and you can see through the shelves of the like bookshelf. There is another set of shelves beyond that. Yeah, this looks like some sort of library.
Do I
So I'm
hear
checking
anybody in there?
All the bookshelves for hidden items.
You don't immediately hear anyone in this library.
Okay. And like lights are on. It just seems like
Lights are on. It just doesn't seem that anybody's in it right now.
How big is this library?
This library is about 20 foot by 20 foot. So it's bigger than the other room that you were in. You were right on the bigger rooms on the side with lesser doors.
Yeah. A lot of shelves, or
there's 2 sets of shelves. So there's a one against one wall and then one in the middle section of the room. I will tell you, if you're planning on hiding, between the 2 shelves cannot be seen from the doorway of this room. So if somebody were just doing what this room was like, seems like is meant for, there's some sort of working desk here. Unless they had reason to go between the bookshelves, they probably wouldn't find you.
And the desk itself, is there any like?
There are several things.
Paperwork.
Would you like to look at the desk?
I'll do what the SpongeBob thing where the eyes go down and like get everything.
Okay. As you start looking through the desk, can I please get a theft check from you, please?
A theft check? Oh, that's the same as my stealth.
Stealing.
Oh wait, or my it's not going to be any better.
This is
Yes,
gonna look
Coryne.
so this is gonna look so jank, and I don't know if you'll be able to read it. But is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, that's very accurate to the hallway that you're in. I mean, the hallway's skinnier and longer, but other than that, it's like perfect.
9.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was
A
just
9?
having a really hard time
9 is very good. 9 is very good.
9!
So, as you start looking through the desk is used for more administrative work. It looks like this isn't just like a temporary desk. This is someone's desk. So as you start looking, you see a lot of files addressed to an Officer Perry, is what you see. Officer being one of the ranks of the Blue Rockets. You can see that Perry herself is the rocket who is in charge of maintenance in the entirety of this facility. So you're going to get some very useful information out of this, actually. Do you want me to just read you off information, or do you want me to give it to you in pieces?
What's funner for you?
Either one's fun for me. I can info dump this entire thing.
Yeah, give me the info dump.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Dump on us.
No.
Okay. The Ocean Breeding Facility, the OBF, is a facility that the Blue Rockets have that seems that it is capable of being a Pokemon breeding facility for aquatic type Pokemon for them to use when it comes to a lot of their water-based assaults on Vermilion City, on Pallet Town, on Fuchsia City. This seems to be one of their big touch points in the ocean south of Kanto. This facility itself, it seems like it's meant to mass breed Magikarp, find those that are going to be the most aggressive, the strongest, evolve those to Gyarados, and chum the rest of them.
Okay.
Fucked up.
Cool.
One of the things that you called out earlier that you will see is you do see staff schedules. And it looks like at the current moment, normally it looks like this facility is normally manned anywhere between 10 to 30 individuals. Looking through, because again, you rolled very high on your roll, you find shipment manifestos showing that most people are not in the base. You happen to be here when it is on a skeleton crew at the moment. There's anywhere between, what you can tell, 8 to 15 people on the base right now.
Okay.
That is the information that you read just going through the documents on the top of her desk.
Does it show what her schedule is?
There would be a personal ledger that would be on her. She would have that with her.
Oh, it's so convenient. Okay.
That's so
Okay, but we at least know what the other schedules would be. Do I have any type of map or reference book?
You know what?
To the base?
I'm going to give you a map.
Let's go.
and it lights up the area.
Guys, I made a realization. This is where they chum Magikarp. I think I know where all those whirlpools of Pokemon came from.
Yeah.
So, Seth, you are the only one with access to this map at the moment. It's a huge facility.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see the text jail cell?
Yeah.
If you go directly to the right of that tunnel that kind of goes off screen, that is the access tunnel that you all are in.
Ugh, okay, cool. All right.
That is the scale of facility that you are on. For everyone who's in the audience, because unfortunately you will not be able to see this map, it is very, very large facility that takes up the entirety of the subterranean section of this island.
Okay.
It just clicked for me when you said access tunnel. Oh, this entire Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that give you a little bit more of an idea of some important things in the facility itself, Seth?
Yes.
Of how much trouble we're in? Yes.
Yeah. Are there any? Does her desk have a computer?
No, it does not.
Okay, cool.
Analog.
Talking Stone Age tech. Yeah.
Or maybe it's because people's personal computers at this point are good enough to where you don't need to necessarily always have a desktop, especially in your secret underground base. Yeah,
That's
probably.
fair. Got a laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have
And
a
there's a jail
phone.
cell. And then at the end of the hallway, that's where the R was, right?
That's where
door.
the big blue R is, and that door
And that
that
just
leads
goes
out
into
to
the
the
main-
bleeding chamber. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and there's 15 people in this whole building.
There's anywhere between 8 to 15 people.
Cool. Okay.
Based off of current shifts.
Cool.
Also, something that you would note as well, this the rockets don't use a traditional 9 to 5, obviously. They work in crew shifts, so some people might be asleep at any given time and some people might be awake at any given time. It doesn't matter how late in the night it is.
Okay. Do I have that schedule?
You would have a general outline of it. I don't know if you would have the exact one that would be happening right now on you.
Okay.
So
But to know,
you
like,
guys
with
hit the treasure
scheduling,
trove
like,
by hitting
where
the
they would be.
library first.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it seems like most people are on either breeding chamber duty, generator duty, or training room duty, which is the room directly south of the jail cell.
Oh no.
Oh, did you just share it with them?
No, I just had a thought of what might have
Okay.
happened if maybe some of our party members had gotten sucked into those whirlpools.
Hey, yo, people are making realizations.
Okay. Can I share this with the others?
If you would like to, absolutely in-game. Once you've gotten back to them in-game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then the poster on the wall. What did that poster look like?
Looks like it was just like a motivational poster of like just like a
Hang in
litten
there.
hanging
Hang
from
in
a
there.
tree. Hang in there.
Right. Okay. Cool.
You're a lit.
On the
Okay.
opposite wall, there's one of a Meowth that just says, "You can do it" on the side.
All right. Yeah. This
One
seems
of
like the
them,
best
Mr. Mind,
place to
saying, "Please don't
stay
do
for
it."
now. And I think based on from what you were telling me, the bookshelf that's kind of sitting in the middle, if we were to go in and around that back corner, is the
Yeah.
safest. Okay. Cool.
In this
Yeah.
room, if you were going to stay in this room. But now
Okay.
you have an idea of other rooms on the map. Maybe you guys can always decide to find somewhere else. That's up to you.
But I don't know where they're gonna be at. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna run back to the others and just
Okay.
say like,
Coryne has been standing in this doorway. Coryne, you are the one who has been watching Seth's back this entire time, and you see Seth as each piece of paper you can see physically impact Seth. Seth, I'm going to point this out for you. This
Yeah.
is a breeding facility, but almost like a dark mirror of what you do at
Yep.
home. And you can see that impact Seth as he starts to just read through documents and read through and shuffle and grab papers before he returns to you.
From no care to chum.
God.
How
Okay.
dare you?
Wow. Hashtag rude.
So as you pull back and show them all the map, Vermilion's going to look in and go, "Hey, that says Pokemon storage. You don't think the Pokemon from like a couple weeks ago would be there, do you?"
So,
Good point. Yes, we should go check that.
What did you say about? I'm sorry. Have you said anything about the shipment?
Yeah, I'll pass along that information. Save. They're running with a skeleton crew, so I don't know how effectively everyone's like patrolling because they don't know we're here, as far as I can tell. But we at least have some information on places we can go. The people you were hearing are probably over to this spot here, and I'll point to the training center below the jail cell. We need to, I don't know, figure out a way to get out of here. But also, shut this down.
did you say it was a skeleton crew? There's like not many people staffing the place.
Maybe like 15 max.
Okay, and that's obviously
That's still a
I'm
lot.
not being gun ho. I know that's too many for us. Okay, but help is on the way. I don't know how many,
Yeah.
but the range.
I don't know if
Actually-
they're gonna know we're here though, because this is like underwater currently.
But they're going to be coming to where the boat is. That's where Poppy will have sent them.
If I Coryne like kind of squats down on the ground and starts thinking, what is, based on what you guys know about the Rangers, can we guesstimate what the soonest amount of time that we think they could get here if they knew it was an emergency was?
You can absolutely guesstimate that.
I would cut
Any
that
of you
time.
Even with the
Yeah,
storm.
I mean, I'm pretty.
with
Like,
the storm,
I know.
knowing, because especially you, Seth, with Spur being like your main example of a ranger being able to get somewhere quickly, your mom's Skarmory. Thinking Spur's top speed in a storm, he could probably be here within a couple of hours. Storm really throws things off, though, as to whether or not they'll actually be able to find you.
Yeah, I would say the things that would count against it are, one, not all the Rangers are at full capacity to be able to like come
Diglet
here
Cave
and help
just
us,
collapsed this morning.
even in an emergency. So we're somewhat stranded for the most part. If we can find a way to get the storm to die down and cause some type of disruption here, that could help. But we're really far from the generator that would be affecting that, I think. Really know where else we could go here.
Well, then the next, if we like, first of all, I'm
There's the
sorry we're in
executive
this
office.
situation. I take
No,
full
don't
responsibility.
apologize. It's okay. We're well past that. There's no time and or need
But-
for any type of apologies. We're just gonna figure it out
Yeah,
best as we can.
if it's a small crew and they're spread out across this huge facility, we might be able to pick them off.
We could, but they're in a small facility. They're gonna hear if there's a battle going on, and they probably have some sort of like internal communication that can get them information quickly without them needing to being in the same spot. So I think battling is probably not going to be the best way to get out of a situation. What we could also do is try and find maybe like, I don't know, uniforms and pretend in that way. If we walk casually, they won't recognize us, but then that brings up questions of what our names would be and who we are. So maybe not that.
We just pick a color.
Huh?
Haven't you noticed
Vermilion.
every single blue rocket has had a name that's a color?
No.
You have a name
Lavender,
that's a color.
azure, Perry.
Vermilion.
Yeah, those
Well,
are
I
like
mean-
top command people. We met Millie, Bobby, and Brown's the only one that fits that description.
Wait, is Perry short for
That's right.
Periwinkle? Anyway,
Hey, did Aaron write Officer Perry Winkle in his NPC list? Yes, he did.
okay.
They're Doofenshmirtz
So-
here.
What do I, Professor? What do I think a poison spike, a toxic spike, would do to a person?
It would poison them. It would give them the poison condition. It would wound them. It would eventually kill them.
Okay. Because if we trap this and we have our guys ready to go, we can bring them here very easily by sabotaging any of this.
Yes.
I think you're forgetting about the fact that they literally make Gyarados here.
Yeah, we're not.
A hydro
not-
pump would wash out this tunnel immediately.
I know, but they're not going to know that we're here. They're just going to know there's a problem they need to come fix. They're not going to come armed for a fight. They're just going to walk in. They're going to get poisoned, and then we're all going to stomp on them.
I'm
Is
not
there a
sure I
camera
would
system?
underestimate the
That's a
blue
good
rocket
question
like that.
too. Are there any security cameras that we can see?
You guys are currently in the maintenance tunnel. There are no
Yeah.
cameras in the maintenance tunnel that you can see.
Okay. Does the map showcase any?
The
cameras?
map is a general schematic of the building. It doesn't even show most systems.
Okay, so
There's no camera
our
here.
options. Okay, so we have the lab, and then across from the lab, going from left to right.
There
on
are
this map-
several labs. Everything of that in that 4 block that isn't
The
the
4 block are
library
all
is a
lab.
lab. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Conference move, and then
So I'm open to suggestions. I know we're...
I think, Gavin, I'm with you that I want us to do something, but I think picking them off is the wrong thing.
I'm open to suggestions. I'm just...
if we can find a way to open a hatch that would release the Pokemon here, that could cause enough of a fiasco to maybe.
I was literally just
Distract.
thinking that.
Wait,
Is-
Seth. So look at this, and they point at the map directly west of the breeding chamber, that like very thick hallway, that like 10-foot tall hallway. Are those little lines over there Are they secret tunnels that'll lead us down? So we can just skip the breeding chamber?
I mean, those look like closet things, I think. I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind skipping a breeding chamber that has a lot of Gyarados in it. Possibly. Although, didn't you say they just took a ship out?
Horny Gyarados. Gross.
Ew, I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Oh.
I'm already disgusted with this place. Anyway, if they took a ship out and a lot of the rockets left with them and they're running this place with the skeletal crew, it's entirely possible that all of the Pokemon they stole, they took with them to trade and sell.
We could always check. It just, and they hold up the piece of paper that Seth has brought back. It just says that there was a shipment that went out. We don't actually know what was in it.
And just to it, are we all in agreement? We're taking this place down, right?
Oh,
well, once
hell
help
yes.
gets here, yeah. Champions don't run away.
Good. Just as long as we're all on board with that.
Oh my god, Vermilion.
Them making a call back to a conversation you guys had directly after the attack on the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, Jim.
But I think if we can skip the breeding center and get to the generator, maybe that would help us. If we can take out the generator, maybe we can just make calls.
But since we take out the generator, they're going to know we're here.
Well, they can't have a proper generator. It's got to be like a Pokemon, right?
Even so, they're going to know we're here.
Can I think about if I know of a Pokemon that's powerful enough to power...
I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You can think of several off the top of your head that at their highest evolution form could power a place like this if that's all they were doing. There are a lot of very powerful Pokemon. If you had 10 Raichu, you could power this place. If you had 20 Pikachu, you could power it. If you had 2 Electabuzz, you could power this place. There are several Pokemon that could power this place on their own.
Dang.
Especially because these people don't seem to care about Pokemon rights.
No shit. So we're making a run for the generator then?
Well, that's just an option because we could also try and go to the Pokemon storage room.
There's not as good of a route to there though, if you look at it.
Well,
Yeah, we'd be passing the executive office.
Well, no,
Which
look at
sounds very intriguing to me.
the maintenance tunnel from that bathroom to the back of the storage room.
That requires us to find a way all the way to that
We
maintenance
go
tunnel.
out and then around?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out options.
Okay.
There's
That
a
goes
lot of
past
different
a lot
places
of-
we could go.
That goes past a lot of barracks though.
I don't know what I want us to do. I just thought. And you can see that even as they say that, they shiver once again, and you can see that they are still not up to full strength. Those of you who know anything about medicine know that Vermilion probably shouldn't be going with you guys at all.
We can't just leave. We
No,
can't just
just
leave them in a
straight
room.
up. I'm letting you guys know that medically Vermilion should not be running around a facility at the moment.
It's very fair.
Look in my bag for something that might help. I'm not saying that we'll.
I think the
Sure.
only things that might help right now might be an Asperberry
That's what I was looking for. I don't
or a
have
freeze heal. Yeah.
one. I was looking for an Aspia berry. I don't have one.
Or an ice heal is
nope.
the name of the item. I apologize.
I have a Rost, but that's for burn.
Okay. Seth, what do you think?
I think if we keep trying to sneak, we at least have an idea of what rooms may or may not be the most populated, and that can help us with navigating. But we can split into 2 teams. One that would stay here with Vermilion because they aren't in any shape to move, and the other that would find a way to shut it down, not necessarily a way that would start all the action, but at least could help us manipulate who's where at a given time, and that might be a way to go about it.
Seth, I just had an idea. You don't have the shipments and stuff for this week, or the staff and stuff for this week, but we do have a list of staff and a list of important people. They're running a skeleton crew. A bunch of important people probably didn't stay. That means if we need to hide, there's probably at least 1 or 2 empty rooms, bedrooms.
That's true too. Yeah, so I mean, we can go find a bedroom instead of staying here in the library, and take it from there. What would be the nearest person that lines up with the list?
Looking at the list of people you have in front of you, towards the west, past the second 2 labs, there is a set of single bedrooms that have like single beds in them. It seems like both of those would be empty at the moment.
Okay, so we'd have to cut through a lab and a hallway. Okay. Let me try to see if anyone's there. And I'll go first like I did before, and I'll try and go through the lab that'll be directly across from the library, so the north.
So you're going to go through that
north.
open hallway that's going to lead you to a chamber that potentially can see the breeding chamber from where you're at.
Correct.
I'm just gonna let you know. Okay. So, hopping back down into the library, because again, you mentioned that you left the door to the library open. You can walk around, and there's this like large, normal metal-sized door. Large-sized metal door. Roll me a stealth check. This is the time to not roll low.
Do I get the advantage for the door thing or no?
That was for the latches to the maintenance hatches, unfortunately.
That was almost a 10. That's a 4.
4. Okay. So you hear the door open as you go and open it up, making an audible noise. And I'm assuming you keep the same strategy of the don't try and do it slowly.
Just doing it casually moving.
As you open up and look down the hallway, you can see that there is an open channel of ocean water with several small bridges that go across it, and there's sort of ledges on either side that you're meant to walk across. But looking down, you can actively see at the end of the hallway, there is a large open chamber that you can smell the salt that has just accumulated in the air. But luckily, there is no one in the surrounding labs that has heard your roll. And you do not immediately rock into any rockets.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try to. Are all the doors just completely like sealed, or are they like windowed doors, or like
they wouldn't
lab?
They wouldn't be windowed, but they'd be labeled.
Okay.
Lab A is directly across from you. Lab B is south of that, and then Lab C is next to you.
Okay. Does it
the
like
door to Lab B is open?
The door to Lab B is open?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try to get to... Oh, that's the thing. I'll close the door back, because we can't... The access tunnels need to have... We don't have access to the access tunnels, so we can't cut through those. Okay, I've got an idea. So I'm going to kind of take my hand off the door from the library, and I'm going to take my bag off and reach inside my bag, and I'm going to pull out my lab coat.
The lab coat that you took in episode 1?
Yeah, I'm going to put my lab coat on.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to... Well, because it doesn't say Oak Labs or anything, it's just a white lab coat.
No, it's just a white lab coat. It's purely plain, is what we had said, yeah.
And I'm going to walk out and into Lab A. But I'm going to tell the others to stay, and then worst case scenario, just stay in the room. And I'm going to try to get a...
and to clarify, the others, are they in the library or are they in the access tunnel? The rest of you?
I'm assuming we're in the library, because that was the safest room that we could like sleep in if need be, and we just prop the door open to the library. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Because
we can be in the library.
Okay.
We can.
You could easily get back to the tunnel if you need to. That's the thing, is because currently you guys haven't closed the access hatch yet.
Yeah, because she doesn't have an access key or anything in her desk.
Not on her desk currently, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, is everyone else agreeing with this plan? Just to clarify for the other two.
You're going in with your lab coat, and I'm sorry.
I'm
what's
going
the plan
to walk and get to a clearing, which would be across the hallway from
the library to Lab A.
From Lab A, so I can walk across and then see what information I can find from the lab, because that could help, and then effectively try to clear a path for us to get directly from library to one of the rooms to stay in or sleep in.
So you're scouting.
What?
There you go. So you're scouting right now.
I'm scouting, basically.
Okay. So with you scouting, I'm not even going to make you roll a stealth check, because you're doing it confidently. So I'm going to have you just walk across to So to clarify, A is the one directly across from the library.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and B is the one with the open door.
Correct.
Okay, so going across to A, you go to A and the door is unlocked as you feel the door and it opens. And as you open the door, there are no other individuals in Lab A. You see multiple of those like black countertops with different equipment on it. But you also see that this lab seems to be more focused on some sort of machinery or electrical engineering, as you see that there are open plugs off of the wall. You see actually that their maintenance hatch is open because something is plugged directly into one of the pipes on the other side. You can see that there are large pieces of equipment around. It would take a technology check to even try and figure out what they do. But you can see that this lab currently is open. The counters are cluttered with different projects that seem to have been started but not finished yet. What are you looking for in this moment?
I'm going to look to see if there are any like communication devices that are here, or forms of technology that can communicate outside of the base in some way.
Go ahead and roll me a spot hidden check.
Okay. That's going to be 8.
With an 8, looking around, you can see that one of the countertops more doubles as a desk, even though it's not like a full standing desk. It's just like a desktop that people have placed things on. And you do find the first computer that you've seen in this base.
Okay. Does it?
Another thing to mention with an 8, you also find that that there is a small clippable plastic badge with a blue R on it that says a researcher at the top.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna grab that badge.
Clip it to the
that on.
Coat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Me, board shorts lab assistant guy.
I'm assuming it's a closed lab coat, so you can't see the board shorts, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He looks naked under there.
Well, I mean, confidence is a water place. So I
Those
don't care
calves,
if I
though.
Okay. Yeah. So then I'm going to. So I have the badge. I have the computer. Can I check the computer to see what outbound communication looks like, or like what capabilities it has?
Pulling it up, it is definitely a newer custom operating system. It doesn't look like it's made for most Pokegear. In fact, unlike most PCs, there isn't a place for your Pokegear or at cross transceiver or anything similar to slot into it. Looking at it, it seems like it uses some sort of custom UI. And there is it's almost like a built-in Slack to it. Like there is like channels of communication that is built in to communicate with other people in the organization. It doesn't look like it's intended. It's basically a Rocket Discord. It doesn't look like there's an intended communication for exterior, for out of the organization communication. Bars?
Okay. Okay. Can I see what? I'm treating it like a Discord where I can see, like, can I see who's online?
Yeah, looking who's online. There's a couple. There is this researcher would have access to. I'm pretty sure they would have access to, given what the electrical engineering lab is working on. They would have a direct line of communication with Executive Azure, which does say online.
Okay. Does it have
And then a dick butt.
Does the computer show that it has access to specific like functions and like features, like what would be jamming the radar, like the signals and stuff like that, or anything of that nature from this laboratory?
This is the electrical engineering one. I would say it doesn't have access to the jamming device, but it would give you a better insight into the generator room and what's powering it, as it has updating levels on the electivire that is currently being held in the generating room and powering it.
Gotcha.
It's currently
okay.
outputting at about 60%.
Okay. Are there any options or like keys or buttons that would either release, change, or like modify anything that's
Give me a
currently
use technology check.
control anything from the computer?
You roll higher than a 10, I'll let you know exactly how to do it. Give me a use technology.
Ah.
What is use technology? Education. Okay.
Don't forget to add your badge.
Not likely. Yeah, no, that's a 3.
You're sure that there is some way to do that from this computer? You physically have no idea how to do that.
Okay. Okay. This could be dumb.
This is that thing where, like, when you're playing the Lego game, there's like a console that only a couple characters can use. This is not a Seth console. Yeah.
That shit makes me so mad.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to. Okay, I think more issues would come up if I try and use the computer more. I am going to
We'll figure it out.
go ahead and move. Do you guys have the door to the library open, or are you guys back in that corner tucked in?
Yeah. Did you guys leave Did you guys want it closed or open, the door to the library?
I think we left it open.
Okay.
I am of the opinion that if Coryne can have line of sight on Seth, she will have line of sight on Seth.
So it's
until he
cracked
moves
and you're
out.
looking out in the hallway and keeping watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Is Corinne's
currently, from
head
where you're
in
at in the
Gavin's head?
lab, Seth, you can see Coryne and Gavin across the hallway to you, like directly across from you through the door.
Okay. I'll look back over to them, and I'm gonna do the hand signals, but I'm just gonna speak as I'm giving the hand signals to like mouth the words to it. But I'm just gonna say, split. Like, should we split up? 2 people, 1 stays, 1 comes. And I'm gonna see if I can also just be like, strong, come, Coryne, come with me.
Coryne, I don't speak KSL,
Battle
I only speak
strong.
SSL.
That's
Battle
fine.
strong
That's
stay.
fine language. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, I'm gonna try and see if we split up and have Coryne physically strong come with me, and have Gavin battily strong stay.
Vermilion.
And like
That's what he's trying to get across, and you guys can
Home
easily enough
Alone.
understand your friends, Seth.
Home Alone the library. or whatever.
Nice. Not a bad plan. Okay. I turn and I look at Gavin and I say, "Are you good with that?"
Sure. I'm not fantastic, but go ahead.
What are you talking about? You're amazing. I turn and I look at
I
Vermilion.
mean, with you all going into
As
danger
you
and me hunkering down.
Look back at Vermilion, who is kind of settled in that back corner of the library. They have leaned their head against a bookshelf and has passed out.
Oh God.
They fainted.
Oh my God. Okay. Fuck.
You don't feel much better, Coryne.
Okay.
Your physical checks
All
are still
right.
taking your -3 penalty.
Okay. I squeeze Gavin's like shoulder and I'm just like,
You break Gavin's shoulder.
all right. Snap it off now. Okay, and I
Okay.
dash over to the
Be
lab.
careful.
Let me see if there's anybody on patrol who would go by the thing.
Oh, don't say
Coryne, make-
that.
Coryne, make me a stealth check.
Okay. What is my stealth? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. 6.
6. As you start walking,
Oh fuck.
you do that thing where you across the current, across the hallway over the open channel of water, to Lab A. And right as you get to the door at Lab A, you see the shadow of somebody starting to cross in front of this hallway, and you hear the tuk, 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 tuk of feet. Somebody is
From the-
patrolling the reading chamber, and you have just made it because the difficulty was 5.
Oh my God.
Okay.
But you cross, and you are now in the same lab as lab researcher Seth.
Okay, cool. All right, hey, cool. So we're going to close the door to the lab.
Okay, you,
And
Gavin,
I'll
you see the
point
door.
to Gavin to say,
close.
close it. Okay. And I'm going to say, okay, so here's our story. I found a researcher badge. I'm going to be calling myself Professor Coral. You're a new person who came here to the lab. So if anyone sees us, we have a story. We were sent here by Lavender, and we're doing research to figure out a better way to attack the Pokemon Center on the next whatever. We don't have to hopefully not get that far because I didn't think that much through. But we need a different name to go with. I went with coral because it's a color and it's also aquatic, and that makes sense in this ocean. Maybe we'll see. But there's some computer stuff here. I don't really know how that works very well, but it could maybe figure out a way to shut down some facility things here. So
I like to think that was in character when you bumped.
You're good at computer thing. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a hologram computer, but if you want to give that a try, we can. Otherwise, the access tunnel is open, and we can keep foraging forward. But I don't know. The technology stuff is not my strong suit.
All right, researcher Coral. Yeah, I'll take a look at the computer.
Give me a use technology check. Also, Coryne, just to reiterate everything that's in this room, this is the electrical engineering lab. You can see that the access tunnel is open. There's lots of plugs, lots of half-finished machinery, and there is the computer stand. What's that?
Well, I rolled a 9.
Okay.
Oh, with my badge, with a 1, it's a 10.
The badge, that is a 10. Looking at the screen that Seth had it left on, which was trying to look at the electrical levels in the generator, that electivire.
It's just all ones, but
you see a small little one of those 3 little dot options buttons that he didn't notice, and you click on it, and you can see right there, emergency release override. There's a button on your screen that will release the electivire that is currently held in the generator.
Oh, I thought that was an emoji option.
It's an ellipses. It's like the click more button. You can always... People really gloss over that all the time. Anyway.
I don't have one of those.
My phone has
now
buttons.
I know, and if I did.
Okay. If I click this, I assume some stuff's about to go down. I don't think they'll be able to trace it back to the computer.
If they do... What we can also do is simultaneously send a message to the executive Azure that seems to be online and tell them that, yes, but also tell them that there seems to be something going on. And would this be the Pokemon storage or the breeding chamber that this gets released?
The generator.
The generator room.
Generator. Okay. That something is going on in the Pokemon storage to send him out of his... Oh, actually, no. What's in the northeast room?
There's conference room.
Conference room. Yes. I'm going to say if we could meet in conference room, whatever the name of that conference room would be.
Which you would have the name of it because you have the schematics.
Correct. And I'm going to see if that person can meet us in that room. We're not actually going to go there, though. But as soon as we send that message, then we do the release. That way, whoever the executive isn't in their office. And they're on the complete opposite side of the facility of where the power issue is, just to keep people scattered. Important people scattered, maybe, if they happen to be here.
I think you're absolutely
just a shot.
brilliant.
Does that make sense? Is that
that makes total sense to me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, but the executive office is Azure.
That is
the
Azure's
executive
office.
Of this specific.
Yes,
okay,
he is
cool.
the executive, which you would all know is one step below the boss.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Okay.
Is Lavender also an executive?
Lavender was an officer, same as Perry.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
all right, this is what we're doing.
You write a message to Executive Azure.
Yeah.
Okay. Typing it out very quickly
to make it ambiguous.
Yeah, and that you want to send him to the conference room. How long between sending the message of him to go to the conference room and releasing the electivire? How long between those 2 points?
Wait.
Based on the map, how long do we think it would take him to get to the executive room or to the
maybe 5 minutes if you left immediately?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So immediately you sent that notice.
And Corinne's hands get so sweaty.
You immediately see 3 dots.
Oh God!
At the bottom. After about 30 seconds. Sounds good. See you there.
Okay, and then send the Pichu thumbs up.
You send the Pichu thumbs up?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to roll whether or not they normally use emojis here.
Fuck!
I can see chat history. It's there.
They definitely use emojis. I rolled odd numbers. That is emoji use. He definitely, this researcher, whoever he is, uses
how
emoji.
Messy this lab is.
Yeah, 100%. So about 5 minutes after, you press the button.
I look at Seth and I say, yeah? Okay.
I would do it myself, but I don't know what button to hit.
You hit boom, As you hit the button for the emergency release, all the lights go dark, and immediately hear
Shit.
as all of the emergency lights for the facility, a light blue-green color, create dim light across the entirety of this facility, and you hear in the very distance, and that's the end of today's session.
What? No.
That is where we are going to leave it today. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode of Pokemon Unbeatable, as our players have just released an angry, tortured Pokemon into a facility that they are still in. Thank you guys so much. We would love it if you check out all of our social medias. And all of our friends are now going to tell you goodbye.
Bye. Subscribe for Doom. Thank you for watching this episode of Unbeatable. If you want to support our podcast, please subscribe here and head on over to our Patreon. Our patrons get access to early episodes, bonus content, and rule breakdowns for our games. Thank you for sticking around and being unbeatable.
I am unbeatable, I'll train until I meet my goal. If stakes are high, no, I won't fall, because I am unbeatable. Earning every badge, whatever it takes, I'm gonna be the best trainer, you just wait. And I know the road ahead looks like it won't be easy. I am unbeatable. Standing by my side, got my friends with me to explore a whole world of possibilities. But no matter what the challenge is, we can overcome it together. Because we are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no, we won't fall, because we are unbeatable. We are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no, we won't fall, because we are unbeatable.